your American dream?
My American dream would be to continue working hard for what is my next career, my next dream. My next step would be to be on camera and work for a big sport television broadcasting company. That would be a dream of mine.
For me, the American dream is the freedom to find that goal for yourself and for your family, and the freedom to obtain that goal.
My American dream is to be a role model for both my kids and the world, to make culture a really big part of their life and my life, to be deeply rooted and involved in community has always been a big one for my family.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Welcome, everybody. It is Wednesday, January 6th, and Yo-Yo and Vanessa, quite a day.
Yes.
Quite a day.
Yes.
Just when you think that we can't have more, quite a day, we have another quite a day.
Quite a day. Yeah.
We had, for the first time in my lifetime, and I am not a historian of the United States of America, but I don't know of any other time that this ever happened, but an insurrection by the President of the United States asking his supporters to overturn violently a democratic election in the United States of America.
Yeah.
Quite a day.
That's wild.
Quite a day.
Exactly 2 weeks before inauguration.
Right. And today was supposed to be the day in which it's basically a ceremonial day. It is a ceremonial day where the Congress gets together and just says, yep, the Electoral College was for Biden. It's a ceremony. It's not even supposed to be political. It's just a ceremony so we can show ourselves, our opponents can show each other politically, Americans can show each other and the world a peaceful transfer of power.
Yeah.
And he took this ceremonial, peaceful transfer of power. And, some people could argue it was a coup, insurrection. When you tell your supporters to use violence to overturn an election that he feels was stolen from him. Yet 60 courts, 60 different lawsuits, plus God knows how many people investigated, 50 states, recounts, 60 lawsuits.
Yeah.
Nobody has found one error that would have changed the outcome
Of course.
of this election.
Because there were no errors.
So he is, has been spewing this conspiracy theory of a stolen election, and people believe it, and they get it in their feeds, and people in social media reiterate to one another. It's like a snowball effect, meaning that somebody agrees with you, you go back and agree with them, you share these conspiracy theories with each other. And it's been going on for a while. There's good people on both sides in Charlottesville. QAnon, where they have some crazy conspiracy that when you order a pizza in Washington, D.C., that Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are making money somehow on child prostitution and slavery by ordering this pizza at this pizza. That's how QAnon started. All these conspiracy theories.
Wow.
And all these people buy into it. And the bigger the lie, the more confident that you tell this lie, the more often you hear it, and the more often the people you associate with reiterate it to you, you believe this stuff is happening.
Absolutely.
Which ends up having a rally in Washington, D.C. People had the energy and the time and the anger that was stoked up by all of these conspiracy theories that are being shoveled down their throat. And trust me, the president knows what he's doing. Giuliani knows what he's doing. Ted Cruz knows what he's doing. All these guys, for their own political gain, know what they're doing. They know.
Yeah.
Stupid people. Ted Cruz went to Harvard Law School. Okay, Giuliani was the mayor of New York City. He was the U.S. attorney. Donald Trump went to University of Pennsylvania, even though he probably bought his way in. Still an Ivy League school. So not dummies. They know nothing was stolen from them. But they're using this to cling to power, to override democracy in the United States of America. And when you get this shoved down your throat every day, people are angry. It made them angry. It has made America separate. It has destroyed the fiber of America. People are so angry that they come from all over the United States of America, dressed as patriots, with guns and flags, and come to Washington, D.C. to hear Donald Trump say they stole the election. Go march on the Capitol and go take it back.
Wow.
And this is what happened. I don't know who these people are. Maybe they're white supremacists, anarchists, crazy people. It wasn't a lot. Maybe 20, 30,000 people out of a country of 300 million.
Yeah.
So it's not, it's not a situation where, at this point it's civil war or, there's any chance that Donald Trump is going to subvert democracy and stay in power. But still, to go and destroy the Capitol, for the president of the United States to tell his supporters to go destroy the Capitol, go march in there and subvert democracy, have a coup. Look at this, congressman.
That's crazy.
Okay, they had to put gas masks on. There were shots inside the Senate in what was supposed to be a ceremonial. And by the way,
look at these images.
By the way, this was not a Republican versus Democrat situation. This was a Donald Trump and his supporters and his enablers, Giuliani, Cruz, whoever else he has there in the White House, Don Jr., Pence, all his enablers. Yeah. Trying to cling to power. This was not a Republican versus Democrat thing. Because, nobody, I heard on CNN, somebody had a quote from Winston Churchill that, if you ride on a tiger, you better not get off the tiger. Okay, so Trump's been riding this tiger. Then he let the tiger loose, then can't control the tiger anymore. And I think, it's one of those situations where maybe Trump is a nut, and obviously he is, an egotistical nut, authoritarian, dictator. But maybe some of these other senators, maybe they're nuts too. Or maybe they're just saying, you know what, we're going to ride the Trump train and stick to power, not believing that this would happen, that their lives would be put in danger, their colleagues' lives would be put in danger. I had to stop doing what I was doing. I had to stop being a lawyer today.
Because of this?
Because of this. At 2:00, I couldn't work. I said, I am embarrassed. I am ashamed.
Wow.
And I was scared. All three.
Yeah.
Embarrassed, ashamed, scared of what I saw happening. Embarrassed to be an American, ashamed to be an American. This is what happens in a third world banana republic. You know, if you told me, hey, look what's going on in Belarus, you know, the president of Belarus or some other, you know, country without democratic principles is trying to stay in power.
Mm-hmm.
Say, okay, yeah, happens. United States of America?
I mean, I'm not surprised. America has let me down. I don't have that much hope and faith in it in current state. Within the past couple of years, even decades, you know, it's always been against us. So this right here, it's not surprising me. It's very sad and very unfortunate, but we have wackos here. Well, the fact that Trump still had that many votes during the election showed it right there.
Well, I want you to know, I have to disagree with you, and I'm going to let Vanessa talk in a second. America has not let me down. But if you feel that way, I'm not going to argue with you.
There's a difference between me and you, baby.
Okay, that's fine. America is still, to me, the greatest country in the world. What has let me down is our leaders have let me down in these last 4 years. I don't believe Barack Obama let me down. I didn't agree with everything he did. I don't even think George W. Bush let me down, although I certainly didn't agree with everything he did, certainly not with the Iraq War and not with some of the security measures he put in. Bill Clinton didn't let me down. I didn't agree with everything Bill Clinton did. And I can go on and on and on. But these last 4 years, I've been let down. But it's not because of America. It's because of our leader.
Yeah, I think it's a mix of everything. The influence, the voices that we do hear. I mean, obviously, who our leader has been throughout this time and what he stands for and the kind of energy that he projects onto the people. And at this point, honestly, like, we were talking about it earlier today. And like when Jill sent us, she was like, turn on the news. And I was like, wow, this man, even in a new year, like this, like everything we can't just exit smoothly. Like we can't just enter this new year smoothly. Here we go. Starting the year off with a bang. I'm just hoping that things go for the better. It's the only way that it can go from here.
Well, the only thing that I take two good, I mean, this was as crazy a day as ever. But I take two good pieces of news out of today. Okay. One good piece of news I take out of the day is that the Democrats won both Senate races in Georgia, which means that's a 50-50 tie in the Senate, and the person who's going to break the tie is Kamala Harris, which means that the Democrats are going to control the Senate, which means that the Democrats are going to control the legislation that comes up for a vote in the Senate. And that's good news for immigrants, for minorities, for people who want more fairness in America, as far as I'm concerned. Second thing of good news is that there were Republican senators before all of this violence happened. Even Mitch McConnell, who I disagree with everything he does, who came out and said forcefully, Donald Trump, you lost. We're going to have a peaceful transfer. I'm paraphrasing him, but he said it forcefully. You lost. We're going to have a peaceful transfer of power. Joe Biden is going to be our president. And so what I saw today also was that there were some Republicans, not all, who are breaking from Trump, who are no longer scared to say something against Donald Trump, and maybe even more now after what we saw today. And I'll tell you one other bit of good news. I was going to Starbucks today, very upset after what I saw. I didn't make it to Starbucks, unfortunately, Jonathan.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
no.
walking under a tree. right in front of Starbucks.
What happened?
2 birds.
Not the birds.
B-2 bombers. You know, like the B-2 bomber? They looked at me. It was dusk. And maybe they saw my bald head. I don't even know.
It was
I usually walk around with a ski hat on, but I didn't have a ski hat on. Maybe they saw my bald head and they said, that looks like a good place to make a poop. And 2 birds from both directions. I got pooped on by 2 birds at the same time.
Are you serious?
I have never been pooped on by a bird once. 2 birds. I'm not even kidding around.
That is
at the Starbucks. I was so mad until I came back to my apartment. The doorman goes, "Man, that's double luck.
That's luck I don't want.
Lottery.
That's luck I don't want.
That's double luck. 2 birds, not 1, 2.
I've had a bird poop on me before too, and like you feel it. Like it's almost like when there's that little bit of hail, like a raindrop.
And then you said, what? I didn't even realize what happened. I thought maybe it was like a piece of dirt. And then I go like this. I'm like, oh. I'm like, get off. And I can't get it off of me. And then I'm like, ugh. And then I went like this to my other hand. I'm like, God, now I got it on both hands.
This close to the coffee.
And I don't have any coffee. But I got pooped on.
Y'all know I hate birds.
After what I witnessed, I said, boy, this day, I mean, sucks, man. And then I get pooped on, but then the doorman says, it's good luck.
No, I'm good. First of all, y'all know I'm terrified of birds. They're disgusting. And birds are very vicious.
Would you ever eat a chicken?
I do eat chicken. It's only because I grew up
live birds.
Huh?
Dead chicken you'll eat, but you won't. But you'll run from a live chicken.
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. The only reason why I eat chicken is because I grew up eating chicken. If I didn't grow up eating chicken, I wouldn't eat it. They say duck is one of the best type of birds to eat. I will never try it because I think it's disgusting.
Duck is delicious.
No, because it's a bird. Oh.
So you've never been pooped on?
I have.
Vanessa, you've been pooped on?
I have.
You have. I don't recall ever being pooped on. This could have been the first time ever in my life. Maybe I was pooped on before, but I don't recall.
It's not fun.
It's not fun. And the worst part, I'm telling you, the worst part was when you're like, what's in my hair?
Oh, like, and you just touch it.
And then I'm just like, oh, come on, man. All right, let's say hello to the squad and we'll talk more about insurrection and coups and the Senate being run by the Democrats. But let's say hello to Mika Nelson saying, hey, y'all, what's up? Vitalis Asugwu, squad up. Boyi Adebayo, 50 stars. Thank you. Sadie Fula saying, hi, how are you? Amanda Baldwin, see her watching. McLeod Jacquil saying, Carrie Ann Lolila K. Gooden inviting her friends. Who else we got here? Ma Duke, squad up. Teresa Edwards, 150 stars. Thank you. I'm saluting everyone who gives me stars now. Christy Gonzalez, it's my new thing. I just decided it just now. Christy Gonzalez saying, hello, everybody. Who else we got here? It's apple pie.
Ooh.
It's apple pie.
With ice cream, I hope.
Right.
Isn't that a great name? It's apple pie.
I like it.
I love apple pie.
I do too.
Yeah, I do.
I like it with the crumble on top.
I do too. With a little sugar and vanilla ice cream.
Ooh!
Very, very good. Saying, and it's apple pie saying, squad up, everybody. Jessica Levy Joel, squad up, how are you? And Tonette So Bless Robinson, squad up. Who else we got here? Natalie Nichols, squad up, how are you? And Clifford Gordon, squad up. Paulette Bryce Cameron, squad up. Dawn Harriet, squad up. It's too many squaddies today.
Yeah.
Are they going to get insulted if I don't go through everybody? I'm sorry. I can't go through everybody. We'll spend all day here.
Right.
We're 20 minutes into our show and we haven't even started it yet. John Love, squad up on YouTube. We got to get to YouTube at least. Carol, the Top Cat Tigers 2 Anderson, squad up. Cindy Albert, how are you? Emiliano Rivera saying, what's up, guys? All the way from Monterrey, Mexico.
Ooh.
Hola.
Nice.
Hola, Emiliano Riviera. How was that for my Spanish accent?
Beautiful, beautiful.
Right.
Yes.
But I am not trying. I am not trying to make pretend that I'm Mexican.
You're not appropriating.
I am not appropriating anything. We had that discussion yesterday.
Yes, we did.
I am a New York Jew.
A New York Jew. Yes.
29 Super C squad up. Blessing Odin squad up. Bolaji Muhammad squad up. Yo-Yo and Vanessa, why don't you tell everybody what they need to do while I take a look at what the show is about on my sheet here.
Absolutely. All right. First things first, everybody on all social media platforms, you already know what you have to do. Become a VIP member, a Brad Squad VIP member on Facebook. All right. All you have to do is go into the search engine, put in Brad Squad, and you should see a page where you have to actually request. Okay. You have to request to get in, and we will accept it, and then you will become a VIP member. What you can do is you can throw in your comments and your questions anytime throughout the day, and we're going to take the first 5 of those, and we're going to ask those before any of the social media check-ins. So you get a great incentive right there, and you're also going to get different videos that we're going to put on that page that we won't put on any other page. So it's going to be a little special thing for you guys. So become a VIP member. That's the way to go. All right, now for Facebook. Everybody, it's time to share. You already know how we get this show out to the entire world. It is all within your hands, on your finger. All you have to do is click that little arrow, share it to anybody's page. You can share it to an inbox. You can make it personable. You can share it in different communities and groups that you know that you'll have people that need help from us, or just might think that this is entertaining, or might need a new family to join. You already know we like to accept people with open arms. It is a loving community that we have here. So let's just share it with the world. And it's through you guys that we can do that. You could also start your watch parties right now. Starting your watch parties will take the video from our page to your page, and it will throw it in, and it will also send a notification to your entire friends list. All right, so now they will know that you're watching this show. They're gonna be like, what's the show about? If they come into your friends in your watch party on your page, make sure you let them know about the show. Let them know what this is about, and then also tell them to come to the main page so you can introduce them, and we can open arms again, love on them. Okay, so now throw in all your comments, your questions right now. It's the beginning of the show. We're not going to take calls today, so we're going to do a little bit more of the social media check-in. So throw in your questions right now. It's the best chance, unless you're a VIP member and you threw it in earlier. So throw it in right now, and of course, interaction. We love the love, smiley face, wow face, mad face, whatever you're feeling. We're going to be talking about a lot of different stories, some happy, some sad. Let us know what you guys think. We are in the comments as well. We are here for you. Remember, we're all going through this together. This is a community. This is a family. All right. Brad Squad forever. Now, Nesquik, what are we going to do on YouTube?
Okay, squad, on YouTube, the most important thing that you can do right now is be sure to subscribe to our channel and make sure that you turn on that notification bell. It is a new year and we have so much to bring you guys, and we want to make sure that you are tuned in right on time. Turning on that notification bell will let you know when Brad's show is live Monday through Friday. So make sure that you don't miss out on that. Like Yo-Yo said, we are not taking calls today, so make sure that you get your questions in the comment box. Get your question in the comment box. We have the squad in the back looking out for those questions for social media check-in. And for that reason exactly, we want to make sure that we get this video out to as many people as we can. So use that share button. There's an arrow right next to the subscribe button. It is the share button. So go ahead and click that. When you click that, you can copy the link so that you can share it in a text message, share it in a WhatsApp group, share it with family, share it with friends. We want to help as many people as we can. There's still so many people that are not familiar with Brad Show Live, and we are here to reach as many people as we can, and we can do that with your help. So please, squad, share, share, share. As well as, if you love what you see here, make sure to give us a thumbs up. I'm taking a look right now on YouTube, and there are way more people watching and streaming, then there are thumbs up. So let's make sure that we get those thumbs up, because it lets YouTube know that we're doing great work here. We're sharing valuable information that so many people should know. And by giving us that simple thumbs up, it helps us really blow up the algorithm on YouTube and have them know that this is the place to be. So make sure that you are subscribed, turned on that notification bell, share. It is the only way that we'll be able to reach as many people as we can. If you cannot catch a full 2 hours of Brad Show Live, catch the best snippets of our show on our Instagram page at Brad Show Live, where you can find some of our great snippets. We'll also give away we do different giveaways, and we're looking out to connect with you guys for gratification or tons of different games and so many fun things on Instagram. You can also direct message us your questions. We are looking out on all platforms. If you aren't already a Brad Squad VIP member, if you aren't throwing your questions in the Facebook or in the YouTube comments, you can direct message us on Instagram, and someone from the squad will be sure to get that question to Brad. So let's jump right into it. Make it snappy. Some schmoozing with Brad.
So I was dancing to the music. I was like, duh, duh. I was just looking at our rundown here. I know you guys reminded everybody, but we're not taking calls today. Hopefully tomorrow. I'm still on quarantine because from my travels. Hopefully my COVID test comes back negative tomorrow. As I've been saying all week, think positive, test negative, right? And
that's the motto. That should be the motto in 2021.
That was the motto for 2020. Think positive, test negative.
I like it.
So hopefully I'm negative tomorrow. I could be back in the studios. While I am home at the dining room table, we can't take your calls, but do leave your immigration questions in our comment section. Later in the show, guys, we are going to be talking with political artist and activist Tootsie Warhol. His persona is Donald Trump.
What?
The ego was influenced after he attended a January 2017 meeting with the incoming president, Martin Luther King III, and other civil rights activists about voter rights. And he was so incensed, because he is an attorney, he was so incensed about what Donald Trump had to say about voter rights and about civil rights when he attended that meeting with Martin Luther King, that he has now made himself a second persona of Tootsie Warhol, which is really a persona of Donald Trump. So we'll have to see. It's a very, very funny guy.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, we talked about it a little bit. I want to talk about it a little more. The entire Capitol building is now under lockdown, although right when we came on the air, the Capitol Police said that the inside of the Capitol building is all good. There is a curfew at 6 p.m. in Washington, D.C. So Washington, D.C. has now been under curfew for approximately 45 minutes. No one is allowed on the street, no cars, no bicycles, no dog walking, no nothing. If you are on the street, supposedly you are going to get arrested.
Wow.
Now, members during this insurrection, members of Congress were told to get gas masks. Vice President Mike Pence, who was in the Capitol, he was whisked away. Of course, he is an enabler of Donald Trump, but of course they take him to safety. Flashbangs could be heard near the steps of the Capitol. Tear gas was deployed. An armed standoff took place. An unidentified woman was shot and killed. We don't know why or how. The entire DC National Guard was activated, but only hours and hours after the insurrection happened. Because ultimately, Donald Trump is the one who is the head of our military. So he was having the military stand down for hours while this was happening. And by the way, before we got on the air and after I got pooped on by a bird, I looked at CNN very quickly. And I don't understand why all of these protesters who showed up in Washington, D.C. with guns, broke windows at the Capitol, walked into the Capitol building, stopped the Senate that was in session, ransacked offices, shots, insurrection, and a coup. How did they all walk? I just watched them all walking away.
Yeah.
How do they just walk away, Jonathan? And nobody does anything. I didn't see one person getting arrested.
I mean,
that is the question.
Okay, because if this was Black Lives Matter, you think Black Lives Matter, the people would have walked away, no arrests?
It's wild to me that with Black Lives Matter, we were protesting for a reason. We were protesting for something that we wanted, justice for. Like, we wanted change. These people are protesting for something that's just made up. He lost the election. There's no way he's going to become a president again. And for the Black Lives Matter protesters to endure so much more within being tear gassed, beat, run over by police cars, which are on camera, arrested, all of that. And barely anything happens to these people. It's wild to me. And this is part of the reason why I said America has let me down. The fact that the president allows this is crazy to me.
It's not America letting you down, because
it's happening in our country.
It's not America letting you down, because think about all the people that you marched with. Think about all the people that you were in solidarity with. Think about all the people that put the Democrats in power. Think about 70+% multicultural marches around the United States of America. It was not your citizens, your fellow citizens. It was not your country that let you down. It was your leader who let you down. I really believe that. If, Jonathan, George Floyd got murdered, and you were sitting there by yourself protesting, and everybody told you to go home, and nobody joined you, or just blacks joined you, or your friends joined you, I think you could say America would let you down. But I saw everybody joining.
I think we're looking at it. I think we're looking at it in two different ways. When I say America let me down, the reason why we're protesting is for that reason. Like, for us having to protest is why it's let me down. We're protesting because of the issues that have been happening.
These are issues, yes, that are in America. Absolutely.
That's what I mean.
That are institutionalized in America. Absolutely. But I saw a lot of people joining to change that.
Oh, absolutely. And I was the first one to say that when I was front line at the protest. I said I love that it was multicultural. It was so many people. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it let me down in that aspect, because I'm very grateful for that.
America to me is not a tree. It's not a building. It's not a brick. It's the people. It's the people.
Yeah.
And the people were there with you. Your leaders let you down.
Because the leaders have the influence that lead these people to believe what they believe, and here they are protesting for we're not even too sure what at the Capitol.
Right. They're protesting to overturn a democratic election. And what is the most ironic of the day, Donald Trump's campaign theme was law and order. I am going to be the law and order president. Well, there's nothing more or less law and order than having a democratic, fair election, having everybody look at this election from every angle and saying it was a fair election, and then having your supporters go into the Congress, the legislative body, to overturn a democratic elected fair election. There is nothing less law and order than that, which is quite ironic. Meanwhile, besides the birds pooping on me, the other news The other good news is that Reverend Raphael Warnock defeated Republican Senator Kelly Loeffler.
Yes.
And John Ossoff, he won his U.S. Senate race as well. And Warnock is going to be the first Georgia Democrat elected to the Senate in 20 years. He's going to be Georgia's first Black senator. John Ossoff is 33 years old. He's going to be Georgia's first Jewish senator. So a state that was predominantly very conservative, state has elected two separate minorities to represent them in what is absolutely, because it is a conservative state, is what is absolutely a repudiation of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Okay. These guys won as much because of who they are as because of who they're not. Okay. And you have to thank Stacey Abrams for, and who got them elected was the Black vote in Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay. And the Black and that voting bloc showed their power in Georgia. Stacey Abrams got them to come out to vote, and they showed their power. And it was an absolute repudiation of Donald Trump. I believe had there been any other president who was not as divisive as Donald Trump, neither of these guys would be senator right now.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have gotten that outflow of people to come out and vote.
Right.
Yeah.
I just love that, my fellow Black people have finally realized the power that they hold with going in and voting. This right here, I just pray that they keep that in their mind, and it took Stacey Abrams to come out and show it to us. And I'm so grateful.
She is a hero. If you're a Democrat, she's your hero.
Absolutely.
All right. If you're a Democrat, she is your hero.
I want to get a candle. You know how they sell those candles with the saints? I want one of Stacey Abrams.
But she got Biden to win in Georgia, and she got the Democrats, the two senators, which ultimately puts power for the first time that I can recall that the Democrats control the executive branch, the president, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. I believe in my heart of hearts, I believe that in the first 100 days, you're going to see huge government spending, huge stimulus checks being sent out to people who need it, huge additional unemployment benefits given to people who need it. And I also really, in my heart of hearts, believe you're going to see a significant change in immigration laws.
Yeah.
I do not know whether it's going to be an amnesty. I do not know what it is going to be. But I do know that I feel confident there will be those two huge changes.
Nice.
And Stacey Abrams is responsible for that.
Yeah.
As more than anybody else.
Protect her, y'all.
I heard you correctly. This was the first time in 20 years that there had been a Democratic representative in the Senate for Georgia.
Yes.
20 years.
Yes.
That's wild.
But for Georgia to elect two minorities.
Yeah.
Right.
Two minorities.
That part.
Unheard of.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
Well, here we go.
Now,
new rules, new changes.
And by the way, we have a pandemic going on in America still.
Yes.
That part.
Yeah, that part.
Vaccine coming soon.
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, vaccine here, right?
Yeah.
Vaccine.
According to statistics from Johns Hopkins University, 1.8 million people have died from coronavirus. More than 48 million people have recovered. In the United States, 21 million people diagnosed with coronavirus. We are now up to almost 360,000 deaths. a new high in deaths from COVID yesterday, 3,775 across the United States. Governors have taken new steps to get vaccines administered faster, including mobilizing the National Guard. And by the way, during these 30,000 people who were basically storming, I don't like to use the word storming because we always joke about storming 6A.
Right.
Okay, but who were protesting a coup, none of them were wearing masks. So not only did we have a coup, but we also had what is most likely going to be a super spreader event again.
I always think, like, from our video yesterday, it's so wild to me when we had said, you had reported that I think it was like 125,000 cases in the world or something like that.
Right.
And like what you're saying now, it's just insane. I never thought we would get here.
Yeah. I remember when we were doing the show from the studio back in February.
Yeah.
You're running around New York City in your underwear and we're like, look at Wuhan. Can you imagine if we had to shut down those poor people? Like we kept saying, can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Right. It was all talk until we had to walk it.
Right. By the way, did you see a congressman who was elected from Louisiana? He died of COVID this week.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Luke Letlow, a Republican who was elected to the House of Representatives this month.
He's young.
Yeah, he was 41 years old.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, he died on December 18th, and it's now come out that he died of COVID. Oh. I'm sorry, he was isolated at home on the 18th. He was hospitalized on the 21st, and then he died shortly thereafter. He is the first member of the House of Representatives to die.
Wow.
Of COVID.
He is so young.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we talked about the Grammy Awards. It ain't happening.
Pish tosh.
It ain't happening.
They could keep on postponing it for all I care.
Yeah, it's now going to take place March 14th, 2021. And by the way, the 117th Congress, it was sworn in on Sunday. And some things look a little different. For one, the chamber is more diverse than ever.
Yes.
Record-setting number of women.
Yes.
Record-setting number of Black and Latino members.
Woohoo.
And record-setting number of men and women who identify as LGBTQ.
Beautiful.
In the House, Republicans managed 11 seats, but the Democrats took over the Senate based on the election today.
Yes.
And as a follow-up to the Jacob Blake story we discussed on yesterday's show, the reason Officer Shesky gave for shooting Blake, because we said we had to look into it.
Yes.
He said that he feared Blake was going to stab him with a knife as he tried to stop Blake from fleeing the scene. Okay, let's try to enact this.
Where's the knife?
I got to stand up a second, seriously.
Where's the knife?
All right, my back's to you, Yo-Yo.
Right.
What am I going to do with this knife?
And you're walking away.
And what am I going to do with the knife?
This is
how do you get away with that? How do you get away with that with no charges?
He also said he believed Blake was trying to kidnap children in the back of the vehicle.
Oh.
Now, Ben Crump, the attorney for the Blake family, questioned whether Blake threatened Shesky with a knife, saying, "Nowhere does the video footage show a knife extended and aimed to establish the requisite intent to shoot the man." Wisconsin prosecutor Michael Gravely declined yesterday to file charges against Shesky, concluding he couldn't disprove the officer's contention that he acted in self-defense because he feared Blake would stab him. Gravely said that investigators determined that the events leading up to the shooting began when the mother of Blake's children called police and said Blake was about to drive off in the car.
Wow.
I don't know,
man.
That's a situation where the law failed.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is a situation where the law failed.
Wow. And we had talked about how he already got a couple million, right? Who'd he get a couple million from?
Blake settled his case. I didn't know that. Did he?
Did
he say? He settled his case already. I find that hard to believe, but maybe he did. He. I would assume his case. He's paralyzed.
Who did we talk? Maybe it was someone else we talked about.
I don't think he settled his case.
Oh, it might have been Breonna Taylor's boyfriend.
Yes, it was Breonna Taylor's family.
It's just so many, I get mixed up with.
Yeah, I get mixed up too.
Sad.
I get mixed up too. Sometimes you hear the name, you're like,
right,
that was the guy in Wisconsin who got shot, or that was the guy. It's hard to keep up with all the names because it happens so often now. I know all the stories. I'm like, the guy in Wisconsin who got shot in the back, with the kid in the back seat. I know the story, but sometimes I mix up the names because
exactly because there's so many.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
By the way, guys, it's 5 after 7. We're 45 minutes into our show. We got to get to some hump day. Have a little fun today, right?
Some good news.
Is we have any camels?
I thought you were gonna say answering questions.
We have any camels? The camels are going to ask the immigration.
The camels in the top corner.
Yes. All right. We're not ready for that. We're going to do. Did you see this? I saw this in the newspaper. I actually sent it to Jill. That 28-year-old Scottish dude. He met this girl online, but because the UK and Ireland are under lockdown, and he wanted to go see his woman who he met online. He's never met her before, and he was just in love. So he rented a jet ski to go across the English Channel to Ireland. Is it the English Channel? What would he go across? It would be whatever that sea. What is the sea between the United Kingdom and Ireland? Whatever that sea is. He thought it was going to be a 40-minute trip from the coast of Scotland to his girlfriend's home on the Isle of Man between England and Ireland. Oh, so she's on an island right in the middle.
Got you.
Where that little pin we dropped.
Oh, where that pin is.
Yeah. Now, he told the authorities that he had never ridden a jet ski before in his life.
Wow.
And that, it's the Irish Sea. I said, and that weather on the Irish Sea caused the trip to stretch to 4.5 hours. He couldn't see land anywhere. He didn't know where the hell he was. He finally showed up on the Isle of Man 4.5 hours later.
Wow.
15 miles from where the girlfriend lived. So then he walked 15 miles after spending 4.5.
You got to be kidding me.
In the winter, by the way.
You have got to be kidding me.
In the winter.
If
right.
it's not love like that, I don't want it.
I'm going to tell you something. That man is either crazy, psychotic,
he loves
or really horny. One of the three. I don't know, or some combination.
So actually,
you can't find another woman closer.
Okay, so Nesquik, this is a serious question. I hear you say if it ain't this type of love, you don't want it. But really think about this. Would you not second guess a man and his sanity if he rode 4.5 hours on a jet ski and walked 15 miles to come and see you?
Right. Yeah. Wait, the storyline is that they've never met before.
They've never met
before.
Right. I would say I would not want to be in a relationship with this man because he does not make good decisions.
Good decisions.
Right.
Exactly.
So if I'm a woman and I want to feel, I'm with a man, I'm not taking the woman's perspective. You tell me, Vanessa.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Maybe you're dating.
Like, okay,
I'm putting myself in the woman's position. And by the way, it's the same thing with a man. A man wants to be with a woman who makes good decisions, who's not reckless. This is everything. Reckless, no good decision. You come home every day. You don't know if the guy has a job. He's jet skiing across the world.
Right.
I wouldn't want to be with this guy.
Yeah, it's a little much.
And then, by the way, and on top, they never met.
It's a little much.
It's a little much.
Why he didn't decide to take a plane, I don't know. Maybe adventures thrive.
Because they weren't they blocked? Like where nobody could go into where she was at, right?
Right. Yeah, because they're quarantined. Everyone's blocked.
Okay. So just wait. Keep on talking. Build a foundation and talk for a month until they open it back up. What the hell?
Maybe like the rest of the world is doing.
Man, maybe
we're waiting it out. Man.
Y'all just ain't romantic. See? And then when people don't take these stretches and these measures and just dive deep into love, we're like,
Nesquik, what do you think? What do you think this man would do if you broke up with him?
Well, then there's that part.
Yeah.
But by the way, it's not even love. It's infatuation. It's fantasy.
Yeah. Right.
Because you can't love somebody you never met and risk your life.
Can you imagine being in the middle of the sea on a jet ski that you've never ridden before?
I'm gonna get back to you guys tomorrow on this.
Right.
I'll check in with my ladies and see what the ladies think.
That's actually a good survey. Ask your friends, your lady
am
friends.
Ask them. Say, would you run? You know, you have to put something up on your Instagram, Vanessa.
Oh,
like,
I will.
you know, run, or I don't know what the do you run away, or what would the other option be? You would like embrace him, hug him, hug a run. I don't know.
I'll be back tomorrow. I'm gonna post
Let
it
us
on
know.
Instagram.
All right, you get back to us tomorrow about it. I want to ask Brad Squad, everybody, Facebook and YouTube, what would you do, guys and girls? Because I mean, there's some crazy girls out there that might do that as well, but especially the ladies. Would you embrace this man that rode 4.5 hours on a jet ski and walked 15 miles?
Yo. Stargirl Mika said she would do it for Yo-Yo.
Watch racing. This guy is cool, but I will definitely not going to risk my life for a chick jet skiing in the middle of the ocean.
I mean,
by the way, the epilogue to the story is he went to jail for 4 weeks after he got caught.
For 4 weeks?
Yeah, after he got
Jeez.
caught breaking quarantine. That is the epilogue to the story.
Wow.
Meanwhile, an Instagram model has racked up more than 1 million followers for baring her bottom in various locales and recently posed for a cheeky shot with a pair of NYPD cops. The 32-year-old vegan model Anastasia Fields, by the way, Yo-Yo, I believe she is single. Check her out. Anastasia Fields, she snapped a shot with the 2 officers and shared the photo of her lifting up her dress for her 1.3 million followers.
Wow.
With the caption, NYPD heart emoji. Thousands of people have chimed in on the comments, with one user commenting, New York finest, while another joked, the black and the blue. Meanwhile, Fields has been using her bare booty to cheer up New Yorkers during the pandemic. She has not cheered me up. Has she cheered you up, Yo-Yo?
No.
No, I have not been cheered up by her.
The thirst is very unattractive to me.
Really?
The thirst?
Go for that.
Yeah, it's thirsty.
Too much. It's too much.
Yeah. You want your girlfriend on the Instagram doing all that? Showing her butt?
No.
To 1.3 million followers?
No. So you would want your woman to be a little more conservative.
Yeah. Like, you could do that for me in my bedroom.
You can pose all day long, right?
Wow. This is definitely the kind of behavior that needs to just not exist anymore.
All right. And finally, former President Obama was recently spotted paddleboarding in Hawaii. And people are saying he's still looking pretty good shirtless. 59 years old. Julian, can we get a closer up of that?
He looks amazing.
Can we get closer up of that or no? Or that's the closest we can get?
He looks great. And
59 years old.
He looks great.
He didn't have a care in the world. He's paddleboarding in Hawaii. He's all smiles.
You know what's funny?
What?
So my younger brother, I don't know if I'm really supposed to say, but my younger brother is his assistant.
He worked for Obama.
Yeah,
right.
His assistant.
Yeah.
So I was asking him, like, because I know they usually go to the gym together before the pandemic. So I was like, has he been working out? He's like, he works out at home.
Wow.
So, like, this is at-home workout, guys. So there's no excuse, anybody out there.
No excuse. No excuse. And by the way, remember when I said Trump's going to get banned from Twitter within 90 days? It just came out that he has now been banned from Twitter for the next 12 hours.
Are you serious? Oh, they're really going to take his account away.
They're going to take his account away as soon as.
Yep.
And if he doesn't delete his tweets from today, they're going to lock him permanently. And what did I say? Less than 48 hours ago? I said as soon as he's no longer president, he's done on Twitter.
Said it yesterday.
He's going to be done on Twitter.
Wow.
All right. Well, that's the end of our hump day. That is our coup edition.
Yes.
Our political coup edition of hump day.
Yes.
Insurrection edition. But before we get into our, we're going to do all our social media questions. All right. So please leave your social media questions. I started to do some new graduations, and you'll be very surprised where I'm starting to do them. In today's Bridge Education, I answer the question, can I collect unemployment insurance or is that a public charge? Let's watch. Collecting unemployment insurance is not a public charge because it's not a means-tested program. What does that mean, a means-tested program? Means-tested program ironically means that you are below the poverty level, and that's why you're collecting a government benefit. But you don't have to be below the poverty level to collect unemployment insurance. You just have to be unemployed. So collecting unemployment insurance is not a public charge. Go do it. You still may need a second affidavit of support for somebody else if you're the petitioner, but it is not a public charge. And by the way, I'm in front of Trump Tower right now. Hi, Donald.
I love that. That was good.
You like that, right?
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Hi, Donald.
Hey, Donald. That was a good video. I like
You
that.
like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to do it topless and jump the shark next time.
Listen. You already saw what happened when you.
I'm here for it.
I'm gonna go next hump day. It's gonna be Uncle Brad versus Obama. Who wore it better on the paddleboard?
Listen, you already know the squad will be here for it. They will be here for it.
I'm gonna lose though. All right, why don't we get into something we like to call social media?
All right, seeing Aman on Facebook. I checked on the USCIS website that the processing timeline for EAD has changed from 6 months to 9 months. Is this true? Any update on EAD or VAWA?
They are taking a long time. I wouldn't be surprised if it's that long these days.
Claudette Fisher on Facebook, does being out of the country and applying for a second re-entry permit affect your spouse filing who is now awaiting an interview out of state?
If you are the permanent resident getting the reentry permit, yeah, it'll affect your spouse because your spouse is in America and you're living in another country and he's supposed to be coming to join you to live in America in a country you're not living in because you're asking for a reentry permit. So without appropriating other cultures and languages, muy problema.
Okay, Dip Fab Cake Affairs on Facebook. I submitted an I-130 and I-485 application for me and my 2 kids on October 2nd, 2020. One is 13, then 9 years old. USCIS had already charged my account for the application fee last December through a signed check. But till now, they have not removed or charged application fees for my 2 children's applications through my credit card. Unfortunately, due to fraud transactions occurring with my credit card, my bank just replaced the credit card with a new one this week. So what should I do since USCIS has not charged the fees for my 2 kids' applications for the I-90 and the EAD?
Well, you got to first of all, call your bank and ask, are these charges going to go through? And if the charges aren't going to go through, then what you have to understand is that application is going to be returned. And then start filing another one quickly.
Lilith Kachatran on YouTube. I had an interview a year ago and I've been married 2 years and up to now, no response from USCIS. What should I do?
Mandamus. One word, Mandamus.
Yes. All right, Darsh Singh on YouTube. I was a victim of crime. My attorney filed a U visa for me in 2016. I think it's about 5 years in February. What's your suggestion on this?
Well, it's unfortunately they only give 10,000 visas a year on U visas, and there's about 100,000 people pending. So you're going to wait a couple more years for this. And there's nothing anyone can do unless they increase the number of visas available for U visa applicants. What you should be doing, though, is making a request for a work permit for humanitarian reasons so you can legally work. If you haven't done that, you should be doing that now.
Ronnie O on YouTube. I submitted an AOS June 22nd, 2020. How long does it take to get a green card? Been waiting for 6 months.
You're going to wait at least another 6 months, maybe more.
Katrina Carter Desmond on YouTube. In November, I reapplied to remove my condition, but the update said that my case had been transferred and a new office has jurisdiction. Is something to be worried about?
No, they're just moving cases around.
Aneldi Rodriguez on Instagram. I filed an N-400 in October of 2019. I have my interview now on January 13. My 2 children, 9 and 11, both permanent residents. Should they be at the interview as well? They are in the Dominican Republic due to COVID.
Well, if they're in the Dominican Republic because they have COVID, or that you're scared they're going to get COVID?
No, it seems like they're there because of COVID. So I guess
they don't need green cards, right?
I think they're just trying to get citizenship for them.
No, because she's applying for citizenship. The kids would, after she becomes a citizen, once the kids come back to the United States and live with her as a lawful resident, they would become automatic citizens. They don't need to show up in the interview.
Okay, Adrian Williams on YouTube. Even if the judge tells you about immigration consequences the day you take your plea, can you still use the Padilla versus Kentucky case?
You can, but you'd probably fail. What we would do in those situations is try to mediate a better resolution and show, humanitarian reasons and hardship reasons why the result of what you pled guilty to is unfair.
Here we go. Mel's Royal on YouTube. Sorry, it closed out. Mel's Royal on YouTube. I'm undocumented, got married in 2018. My husband is a U.S. citizen. We've gotten I-130 approved, received date 6/4/2020 and priority 6/4/2020. Notice date 10/13/2020. What's the next step?
Your husband's in another country. You got to wait for the fee bills from the National Visa Center.
Okay, Stargirl Mika on Facebook. What's up? Can someone?
By the way, she has rented the jet ski. She's on her way from Florida right now, yo.
Open arms. I'll allow it for Stargirl. All right. Can someone who filed for VAWA switch to amnesty and get their green card faster if the opportunity for amnesty is given from the new administration? You are. I would assume the answer is yes. But until the actual law comes out, let's not jump the shark and say there's going to be an amnesty or what the amnesty is going to be.
Linda Shaw on Facebook. I've done my police certificate for 1 year. Is it still valid?
For what? What do you need a police certificate for?
Can't tell you.
I don't know. Okay.
Okay.
Generally speaking, if you filed the police certificate with your VAWA case, you're fine. I'm not sure why else you would be submitting a police certificate in advance. If you had to submit a disposition, the disposition doesn't change, so that also should be fine.
Okay, Blessing Odin on YouTube. I sent in my I-751 application on October 30th, 2020, and still haven't gotten a receipt from USCIS. When am I likely to get an extension for my soon-to-be expired conditional green card?
Within weeks or days.
Daniel K on YouTube. Is immigration banned on December 31st, 2020 extended?
Yes, till March 31st, but that will be it. So after March 31st, there's not going to be a ban. Biden's not going to continue it after March 31st. So the ban continues for 90 more days. Biden may withdraw it before that 90-day period, but 90 days and that's going to be it. So April 1st, good times.
Okay, last one for right now. Oscar on YouTube. What is going to happen with those cases aging out F2A after the end of the proclamation?
Well, they at that point, hopefully there's the Child Status Protection Act, or the embassy is going to have to expedite those particular cases. One or the other. Can't make new laws up, so.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it for now.
Yo-yo.
Yes, Instagram.
You're right. My fault. By the way, if you don't get your immigration questions answered here, I'm new at this. My apologies. So I'm just trying to figure out how this show works.
You got it.
If you don't get your immigration questions answered here, You could always follow me on Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein. You can drop me a DM. If you drop me a DM at Real Brad Bernstein, I will do my best to answer your questions. And if you speak to any of your friends or colleagues or other people part of the squad, they will tell you I am very, very good at responding on my Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein. You could also follow us on Instagram at Brad Show Live. If you follow us on Instagram at Brad Show Live, you can handle 2 hours of the truth right here on Brad Show Live, but you can handle 2 minutes of the truth. Watch us at Brad Show Live on Instagram. By the way, Yo-Yo and Vanessa, before you get to your Instagram or whatever else you would like to promote, Brad Show Live TikTok coming soon.
Wow.
Yes, coming soon. The first one,
I like that.
The first one is going to be me doing a Cabbage Patch. The second
What
one,
better way to start?
the second one is going to be the sprinkler.
Oh,
I'm not dancing. I'm not dancing. I can only do one thing: answer immigration questions. But we'll be doing it very soon.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And Yo-Yo and Vanessa, what do you got?
Yes, you guys can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And you guys can find me at Vanessa.Contreras TV.
All right, Brad Squad. So today is Three Kings Day. I don't know if you guys knew that, but Three Kings Day is celebrated on the 12th day of Christmas, January 6th, in mostly Spain and Latin America, but also across Europe, and dates back to the 4th century. Now, it's known as El Día de los Reyes. I hope I said that right.
Yeah, you got it.
Cool. In Spanish, and marks the adoration of baby Jesus by the three wise men. The Three Kings Day also kicks off the start of Carnival season, a 6-week period of celebrations around the world of parades, parties, and people eating lots of fried, fatty foods. Sounds like my type of party. People overindulge before the fasting season of Lent begins on Ash Wednesday, which is February 17th in 2021. Now, in Mexico and many other Latin American countries, Santa Claus isn't as popular as it is in the United States. Now, it's the three wise men who are the bearers of gifts, and Three Kings Day, and they leave presents in or near the shoes of small children. So now we went to Three Kings Day Parade in Harlem last year, spoke to some folks about the holiday, what the holiday means to them. So let's all watch.
Very mutual colors of ethnicity, keeping culture alive is an honor and a pleasure. I've been doing this since I was 5 years old. I am the child of a village. Now this is my village. I dedicate every presentation that I do to my mother. When you're a kid, you don't know, and you're a child, you say no, and then you feel like, why did she tell me this? Why wasn't she teaching me this? And now I honor her. Everywhere I go, I put her. This is what I do for you guys, so you guys could remember your culture and your heritage. I started doing it when I was your age. And yes, I used to say no to my mommy, like I was saying before, but now I honor her. And she did get to see me doing presentations, and it's a pleasure and an honor. So when they ask you what we do tradition and culture and heritage with pride and joy.
It means togetherness and the recognition of the arrival of Jesus Christ from the Three Kings, and to honor and respect. I'm involved with most Latino movements. I actually was a part of the Hispanic Heritage Parade. I am a second-generation Brooklynite, Brooklyn, Puerto Rican. My mother born and raised in Brooklyn, my father from Puerto Rico.
Our school right now is studying Puerto Rico, Ecuador, all Latin America. And so this was a great event to come to for the children to see the actual Three Kings, which we have been talking about since the beginning of the school year.
My family is from Cuba, where the Three Kings celebration is traditional. And so I was looking forward to showing my son Santiago a very fun way to see the Three Kings in person and to see the camels and how, our entire community here in New York also celebrates the Three Kings. So it's not just our family.
Yeah. I've never grown up with the Three Kings, so this is very nice for me to show my children something new in it is part of our culture because I am Puerto Rican, but my parents never gave that to me. So it's something that I felt from my heart that I really wanted my son and the kids to see and experience firsthand. Well, I'm from Honduras, and the Three Kings, like I said, were mentioned, but we really celebrate Christmas and New Year's, and Santa is very big. So, and but we do mention them. They do belong to our culture, not as strong, but yes, they are prevalent.
I grew up celebrating the Three Kings. They are part of Cuban culture, and I also have family from Spain, and they have been a big celebration there. When I was a child, some members of my family would complain that Santa was getting a bigger focus here in the United States than the Three Kings, that the Three Kings are really the ones who are supposed to bring the presents and not Santa. So, you know, there's that.
All right, we're gonna have another round of social media questions. People are coming in questions left, right, center, up, down.
All of it.
What do you guys got?
All right, we have Oscar. Jamana Tiwari on YouTube. I live in Georgia. I have a combined interview on February 16, 2021. I received a letter saying to come for an interview in South Carolina. Is this some type of error, or do I have to go to this address? My I-751 is pending, and I received a letter for an N400 interview. Do I go with my husband or not?
Go with your husband. Go to South Carolina.
Hollywood Corvaliva on YouTube. I got married to a green card holder. Which form do I have to file to get legalized?
Well, if you're out of status, you're just going to file an I-130. If you're in status right now, you got to file the adjustment before you fall out of status. One of the big mistakes people make all the time is if they marry a resident, they think they can file an adjustment. You can only file an adjustment if you're married to a resident, if you're in legal status.
Okay, JJ on YouTube, is the receipt date the day you file your the day your file is open, or when you send your package?
The day they receive your application.
Omo Yemen on YouTube. Can I file for my mom's green card? This is from she is from Nigeria.
You can file for your mother. Was it your mother?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mom.
Mom. Yep.
Y'all just like my face. It was just, I was like, what's going on? Okay. Chin Ramsey on Facebook. If a permanent resident wanted to do an adjustment for their spouse, but finds out that they owe tax on their business, would this affect the adjustment?
No, as long as it's not personal.
Okay, Jaka on YouTube. I have an EB2 I-485 in process. My spouse and I got FP done, but we didn't receive FP notice for our kid yet. Will he get it later?
How old's your kid? FP meaning fingerprint.
I see.
How old's your kid? If your kid's under 14, you don't need a fingerprint.
Okay, Stanley Kuma on YouTube. How long do you wait to become a U.S. citizen when you have a green card as an 18-year-old child of a green card holder? My stepmom is a citizen and my father is a green card holder.
5 years. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. I'm just being weird. Okay, continue.
Gina V on YouTube. My dad passed away. He signed for me, my mom, and my brother. He got cancer and he didn't have a chance to get the I-130. He was waiting 10 years for a petition on his brother. They said when my dad died, that petition also died. Can I still do anything? I have 2 kids, 12 and 9. I live in New York.
So when dad was the petitioner?
Dad was the petitioner.
Yes, if you live in New York, when dad died, there's something called Section 204L, where you can get a close family member to take over the case and complete it for you.
Samuel Paul on Facebook. I renewed my EAD and haven't received any message or letter. Should I be expecting the card in the mail or not?
Yes, you should be expecting it in the mail.
Raj Jakul on Facebook. I came to the U.S. March 15, 2016 with a green card. When is the best time to apply for U.S. citizenship?
90 days before your 5-year anniversary, unless you got your green card through a bona fide marriage. Then it's 90 days before your 3-year anniversary. Unless you join the military, it's 1 year.
You're amazing, Brad.
Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5. All right. Lib King on Facebook. What's the purpose of the I-693 form?
That's the medical.
Muhammad, y'all on Facebook, I filled out an I-130 form for my sister, and it was approved in 2010. I have not heard anything. How much longer will the process take?
This was your sister? Probably. Yeah. Let's take a look what the visa bulletin is. I haven't looked this month. Let's see what it says. Why not, right? Let's take a peruse.
Let's do it.
Let's peruse the visa bulletin. And if I were to peruse the visa bulletin for January 2021, it says the F4 petitions are up to August 8th, 2006, which means that you have about 3 more years.
Okay. Ayobami Walker on Facebook. I've been going for my interview since October 2018, but my case is still pending. In September 2020, my husband went to jail. Can that affect my 10-year green card, or what can I do to get my green card?
Well, if they want to interview you again, it's going to affect the case because your husband can't show up to an interview. If they've already interviewed you and they're satisfied with the marriage and you just have a lost application or a problem with the fingerprints or something else, well, then, don't worry about it. So what you need to do now is contact a good lawyer.
Right? Is this one? KJ on YouTube. I'm 20 years of age and filed my I-485 today along with my dad's employment-based visa as a dependent. Does my age lock in on 485 filing? Am I safe even if it was approved after I'm 21?
It depends because you have to file for your adjustment within 1 year of being available, the visa being available. So if you filed the adjustment within 1 year of visa availability, your age would lock under Child Status Protection Act. If you did not file within 1 year of visa availability, then your age may not lock. It doesn't lock, but so you would have to complete your case before you're 21.
Okay, Manny on YouTube. I'm a U.S. citizen. I filed for my wife's green card as soon as she arrived in the U.S. August 11th, 2020. She abandoned me. She received the 10-year green card. Now I'm divorcing her. What are my options here?
You got a 2-year card?
Excuse me?
What do you get? A 2-year card or you got nothing?
He's a U.S. citizen, and he filed for his wife's green card.
And she's divorcing him?
Yes.
So what are his options? You're an American citizen. It's an immigration show. Okay, so it is what it is. You're in any other situation where marriage didn't work out. You're the American citizen, man. Your option is fall in love again. But it has nothing to do with immigration.
I feel like he's speaking on like how he can take like
he wants revenge.
Basically.
Right. So really his question is, I'm a U.S. citizen. I married somebody, they got their green card and they divorced me and I feel used and scammed.
There you go.
That's where he's going.
Right.
That's where he's going.
We got to get the right question. I feel used and scammed and I want retribution.
There you go.
And the answer is there is no such thing.
Yes. And I knew the answer too.
There is no retribution. Once she got her green card, and whether you did get used or didn't, whether you did get scammed or didn't, it's, unfortunate. The only thing you can take from all of this is hopefully you had some enjoyable moments with this woman. Okay. So there are hopefully some happy memories, right?
This is true.
And 2, hopefully you're smarter.
I love it, Brad.
And there you go, switching hats. There you go.
Because everybody's so angry all the time, but I'm like, you had to have some happy moment with this woman,
this
right?
Is true.
Right.
Yeah.
We've all been just bad.
So might as well make the best out of a bad situation.
Just remember the happy moments. Forget the unhappy ones, and you'll always have that pit in your stomach until you meet the next woman. Then you'll forget about her.
Exactly.
Like always, right?
That's the best way to do it.
That's
Get
right,
over
right.
it.
You have that pit. It's like that pit, and then some other woman comes along, and then there's no more pit.
Right. Get revenge by being happy again.
There you go.
There you go.
1,
That's
2,
the answer
3,
to
4.
the
It's like 1, 2, 3, 4,
Five.
right?
Five.
Right, 5. 5 stages of being happy, right?
There you go.
There you go.
Anne Marie Anderson on YouTube. Is it a problem filing at a different address from my sponsor? I have a second 864 support. Do I have to use the sponsor support?
The person who's sponsoring you has to give an I-864. You could always get a second I-864 from somebody else. You don't necessarily have to be living with your sponsor unless you have to prove it's a bona fide marriage. Then you got a problem. Otherwise, you don't have to be living in the home with your sponsor.
All right, and that's it.
All right. Oh, it's Tootsie Warhol time.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see this.
We discussed strong black voter turnout won the Senate for Democrats in Georgia. I recently spoke with performance artist and activist Tootsie Warhol. Now, Tootsie was an attorney who met with Donald Trump and civil rights leaders, including Martin Luther King III, to discuss voter suppression and voter ID laws on Martin Luther King Jr. Day in 2017. In this meeting with Donald Trump, Trump admitted to the group that low black voter turnout helped him win the 2016 election. Well, it turns out that Tootsie recorded that conversation and eventually leaked it to the press. And he joined me today to discuss that meeting and how it ultimately changed the trajectory of his career. Let's watch. Tootsie Warhol was a civil rights attorney until a meeting with Donald Trump on Martin Luther King Jr. Day 2017, the week before Trump's inauguration, and it changed the course of his career. Here to discuss his transformation from lawyer to political artist and activist is Tootsie Warhol. How are you, Tootsie?
Thank you, Brad. I'm doing tremendous. It's a great honor to be on your show.
And thank you very much for coming. Now, Tootsie Warhol, you tell us why Tootsie Warhol. That's not your birth name.
It's not my birth name. And I have a great birth name, Mukamal. It's an immigrant name from Iraq, Iraqi Jewish. But Tootsie Warhol, Andy Warhol is, I'd like to say, I'm the son he never had. And he's my spiritual godfather. And what he did was appropriation. So he took everything from pop culture, Coca-Cola, Marilyn Monroe, Campbell's, and he brought it into his filter, and then he put it out in the art world. And that's what I'm doing today, because I've taken things like Donald Trump, his voice, some of the rhetoric, I put it through my own artistic lens, and then I put it out in the world. And the Tootsie, it's just from the Tootsie Roll, which to me is a great American pop icon, a delicious candy.
Tell us about this alter ego.
I mean, I had a meeting with Donald Trump for 1 hour in Trump Tower the week of his inauguration. I went with Martin Luther King III and other civil rights activists, and we went to discuss voter suppression. And that meeting changed my life. It's been well documented in every newspaper, and particularly of late, because Donald Trump did not know this, but I was secretly tape recording the meeting, which is not illegal. It's courageous, some people say, but it's not illegal. And he said some things that were very disparaging.
What did he say?
Well, he said that he listens better to the African-American community better than Martin Luther King III, which was insulting, especially we were there on Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Right.
So there's a very special day to honor his great father.
Let's listen to a little bit of it.
But I would be better to the African-American people than anybody else. Anybody else that's wrong. But I have so many friends, African Americans, that are so incredible, and everyone else.
And then he also said many black people didn't go out to vote at all in 2016 because they liked me, and that was just as good as if they had voted for me, and it was a great time, and we won the election.
Many people didn't go out. Many blacks didn't go out to vote for Hillary because they liked me. That was almost as good as getting the vote, and it was great, and we did well with the Hispanics.
So in saying that, he's acknowledging that he was more than happy with low black voter turnout, and he counted it as integral to his victory. We're in a meeting there because we're saying, Mr. President, we're very concerned that minority communities are being disenfranchised by some of the laws that have been put into place over recent years and by the rhetoric that you're looking to put into place. And he's laughing it up, saying, well, this is great. If they don't show up to the polls, I'm very happy.
Of course, if they don't show up to the polls, it's a vote for him. If they don't show up to the polls, it's one less vote, most likely, for a Democrat.
That's correct. So being in the lion's den there, it changed my life. It made me want to do more.
You left that meeting. How'd you feel?
Well, he did invite us to the White House. So even though he said these things that were very hurtful, I wasn't in a position to flip a switch and start, you know, revealing to the world exactly what he said, because we were hoping, we said, look, sometimes you keep your friends close, and sometimes they said you keep your enemies closer. So we said, maybe we can go to the White House and work on some things with him and nudge him in the right direction. So it felt like, you know, a surreal experience, but we still had some hope. That hope waned as the follow-up fizzled out. And that's why I'm quoted in the New York Times, was a front page article in September this year. And the headline was, in meetings with African Americans, Trump opts for photo ops instead of substance.
You have this meeting. It's absolutely insulting and frustrating. How do you go from that to, I'm going to dress up and basically caricature the president who just angered me?
Like the great Brad Bernstein, I'm a lawyer, right? Tootsie Warhol. Now I'm an artist and an activist, but I'm still licensed in New York State. And I have no training in acting. I can't do impressions. I was never in the school plays. But after the meeting, when people said, I can't believe it, I saw you on CNN, I saw you on all the morning news coming out of Trump Tower and shaking his hand. What was that like? And I just started doing the voice. And I had never done a Trump impression before. And people go, you're really good at it, you know? Because the first thing, I'll never forget it, this was another thing that to me was offensive. We come in and he goes, you see that boxing glove? That's Mike Tyson's boxing glove. And you see that's Sugar Ray Leonard's belt, you know, Sugar Ray. And he goes, I know all the boxing guys. Don King, you know, with the hair, everybody knows Don King. And he goes, I have so many great black friends. And you go, you see that shoe? It's Shaquille O'Neal's shoe. Shaquille, it's a size 22. It's a big shoe.
Let's listen to a little bit of it.
Stuff is all that Shaquille's sneaker, Tom Brady's Super Bowl helmet. Right. Those are all like incredible, sort of crazy things. That's Mike Tyson's belt. Wow.
So it was just a funny oddity for me. And I say he gave that to me when I shook his hand. I think he put this, I call it the beast, into me.
You started doing these imitations and you sound exactly like him. So how did you go from, all right, I'm just doing these funny impressions for my friends, we're all laughing at dinner or around the table, to I'm going to dress up and I'm going to be this performance artist?
So I like to say Tootsie Warhol was conceived at Trump Tower, and then I was born in summer of 2019, a little over a year ago, at the Whitney Museum, which, if people don't know it, it's one of our biggest modern art museums in the country. And they had a show last summer called the Whitney Biennial. And this is every 2 years. It's their marquee show.
Right.
And it's supposed to be everything that's happening in contemporary culture through art. And it's known for having very political work. When we're having the Iraq War, they have work about that. When it's the year after 9/11, they have work about that. They're dealing with difficult issues. And usually it's a very topical show, very contemporary. But the frustration that built up in me was that in the 2017 Whitney Biennial, Trump had been elected 5 months before. They had zero works about Donald Trump, zero.
Right.
And I went 3 times, and by the 3rd time, I keep looking, I kept searching, you know, digging deeper and looking on all the printouts on the wall. And I said, how could they not be talking about Donald Trump? Love him or hate him, he's a big deal, especially in New York.
Did you ask anybody in charge?
The head of the whole museum, he wrote back to me and he said, no comment, and thank you for your support. I wanted to understand why. I said, explain it to me. I didn't want to just attack them. First, to have a conversation with them.
So now this actually got you even, I guess, more angry and frustrated.
So I said, the Whitney Biennial, they're not doing anything. And I believe that museums have a responsibility to create a platform for discussion. I didn't say they have to attack Donald Trump. I said we should be talking about him in the context of this exhibit, period. 3 times. And I said, if they're not going to put Donald Trump in the show, I'm going to put Donald Trump in this show. And I was still working full time as an attorney back then. So during the day, I was doing lawyering, a lot of civil rights work, a lot of pro bono work. And then in nights and weekends, every moment I got, I started going to the Whitney dressed as Donald Trump. And I was 3 days in the galleries. I was very respectful. I changed in the bathroom because I was worried coming in the front door, they have a bunch of security guys there and they would have said, what's going on here? Right. So I changed in the restroom, but I was there 3 full days and the people were loving it. 3rd day, they said, Mr. Warhol, you're too much of a star. The people want to take selfies with you. They want you to kiss their babies. They want autographs. They want all kinds of things. So they said, you have to leave. And so they banned me from the museum in costume. I can still go there looking like this. But then I remained in front of the museum for about another 7 weeks. And I was there about every other day. And it was called Making the Biennial Great Again. because I said that the biennial was a very good show. I don't hate the biennial. Curators and the director, they have a very hard job. They have to have works. They had works about Black Lives Matter. They had works about Hurricane Maria. They have great works in that show. The one thing that they just, kind of a big deal, they forgot to put Donald Trump in the show. I had women from Mexico who did a video with me, and they were loving it because they know that they feel personally offended that by what Trump has said towards their people. And they said, we want to show this to our friends because they would never believe we would ever get close to Donald Trump. And none of them like Donald Trump. So we made a video, and it was satirical, and we're poking fun at Donald Trump and what he said that's so hurtful to Mexican people. So we had great engagement, and it was a great success for almost 2 full months.
So let's watch a clip of you in character.
My name is Tootsie Warhol, and I'm an artist and an activist. And I'm here to make a very special presidential endorsement, very special.
And a lot of people, they say I look like Donald Trump, but no, I'm actually a lot better looking than Donald Trump. And I'm much more orange than Donald Trump. But I am a feminist, and I want to thank all of the tremendous women. We have great women here, the best women.
Now, when people come up to you, do you have like a set shtick that you do with them?
It was about engaging with people. I wasn't just going up to them and saying, hate on the Whitney Biennial. I said, where are you from? What do you do? Did you see any art today that you liked? Did you see any art about Donald Trump? Asking kids who are 8, 9 years old, what do you think about Donald Trump? Is he good or is he bad? Just on the most basic level, I was curious. What is your impression of him?
Did you get any negative feedback?
Not too much. Even I had Trump supporters, and some Trump supporters, they said, it's so funny, and I'm just out in the street. I'm having a good time entertaining people for free. They really didn't mind too much. But this past fall, I brought this performance to Times Square. I was there for over 1 month, almost every day. And there in Times Square, I actually did get, it's a much more even diverse crowd than the crowd that goes to the Whitney. And it's a more chaotic atmosphere. You have people coming at you, even though the foot traffic is down 70% in Times Square. And in Times Square, I had lots of people threaten me, yell at me, scream at me. I got the F word a lot. A lot of people said the things to me that they would say to Donald Trump. And I go, I'm not Donald Trump. I know it. I kind of sound like him. Some people thought I'm supporting. Some people didn't take the time to even, understand and just started shouting things at me. Either way, in my lifetime, we have never had a president this controversial. And I say Donald Trump is the most controversial person in America still.
Yes. What do you get out of this?
People tried to give me tip money, like I was a character at the Whitney. And I said, no, I'm not doing this, for tip money. When I met with him, I said, now I've been in the lion's den. I said, I'm too close to the sun. And I said, I got to at least be able to tell my grandkids, I don't even have kids yet, so I'm thinking far ahead, that when I met with Donald Trump and I saw the injustice that he was doing to this country and to people like me, I'm the son of an immigrant, and that I got off my rear end and I did something.
You added to his loss in some way.
I did everything I could.
Right.
Whereas 2016, I just kind of, I watched Netflix, I did my lawyering, I did some emails.
I understand.
But my long-term goal, and I hope very much, is that I will build a successful career as an artist and an activist. And my goal now is I do not, practice law anymore, is to have photos of me in Times Square or in the Whitney or a tape recording on a wall in MoMA or in the Metropolitan Museum or in the Whitney in 10 or 15 years. And that would be a great thing.
What is Tootsie's thoughts on the negative rhetoric towards immigrants?
Well, from day one, like I said, my father came to this country in 1950 from Baghdad. He was fleeing religious persecution, and my family had been in that region for thousands of years. So that's a traumatic ordeal to have to leave the only home you've ever known for generations to come to a country where you don't even speak the language. My father didn't even speak English, and neither did his parents. So when Donald Trump, it was when he launched his campaign in summer of 2015, he goes, they're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people. And that hurt me so personally because I said, that's not my dad. And then on top of that, my father was a great immigration lawyer, like Brad Bernstein. He gave testimony to Congress on immigration's rights in the 70s. He really was an advocate for over 40 years for the rights of immigrants and for people to come to this country and have the opportunity to live the American dream. And Trump has lived true to all of his promises. The number of deportations are way up. The number of refugees who are allowed in are way down. The number of green cards allowed and visas allowed. Even they started very early in the pandemic using the pandemic as an excuse to prevent people who are coming here to be software engineers at Google, you know, who are very highly educated people who need visas and green cards, and they're using the pandemic as an excuse for that. So it's been a very difficult time for immigration rights these past 4 years.
What do you think of Joe Biden? You plan on satirizing him, or are you going to keep with Trump?
No, I plan to phase out the Trump character. So all of my art is activist art. And I have projects planned for the next 6 or 7 years that have nothing to do with Donald Trump.
So Tootsie, where can people follow you?
Thank you for asking, Brad. Tootsie Warhol, NY on Instagram, TootsieWarhol.com.
What is your American dream?
The American dream is embodied by a person who my father helped bring to this country. He came from, in the 70s, from Jamaica. In Jamaica, he was making rum barrels, because that's a, great Jamaican rum. And then they brought him to New York in the 70s to make pickle barrels out of wood and the deli food in New York. And his wife started making these little spiced beef patties. And in the 70s, evidently, they used to sell a lot more food right on the subway platforms. Now they sell churros. So that's about it. But in the 70s, it was like a whole market of food in some stations. And he started selling these patties, and he brought them to my dad, and he said, "What do you think of these?" My dad said, "They're great. You should keep selling them. They're delicious. Gonna have something to take home? Bring some for the office. We'll pay you." And within a couple of years, that man, who never even went to grade school, opened up a bakery that was employing hundreds of people in Brooklyn or Queens, called Tower Isle Bakery, Jamaican beef patty company. And you can still get them frozen in the supermarket. And he's became a millionaire, living his dream, bringing the food of his homeland and using the opportunities that we have in this country for smart, hardworking people, and became wildly successful. To me, that was the perfect embodiment of the American dream, and it's very much rooted in immigration.
If you can dream it and you can pull yourself up from your bootstraps and work hard, why not? Let everybody have an equal way to make what they want of themselves. Tootsie Warhol, thank you very much for coming on. I really appreciate it and wish you the best of luck in your art in the future.
Thank you.
That was great, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't hear you guys. I don't hear you. I like that interview. I like Tootsie.
He impersonates Donald Trump really well, too. I'm glad that you got to sit down with him. He was cool.
Yeah, he sounds just like him. It's wild.
Yeah, I don't, it's so funny. I tried to do an imitation the other day. I'm like, I just can't do imitations,
Really?
Like, can you do any imitations, Jonathan?
No, I've never really tried.
I can't do an imitation of anybody. I even tried to do rerun from What's Happening with You before, and I'm like, that was terrible, right?
Every now and again, I like to play with a British accent. That's about it.
That was pretty good. I like that. I like
pretty
that.
Good.
That was very good.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
That was very good. That was very good. When I was younger, I thought I did a good Arnold from Different Strokes, but no more.
That was my show.
Well,
I love that show.
We talk about Willis, but I can't. All right, comments of the day.
All right. Our first comment of the day comes from, is it popping up? Don Harriet saying Trump made history the wrong way. OMG.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, the next one comes from Darsh Singh. They say, after seeing what happened on Capitol Hill today, I cried. It's sad.
It was sad. It was upsetting. It was disgusting. It was embarrassing. It was angering me. I have so many emotional thoughts about it. I probably don't have enough adjectives to say. But yes, Darsh Singh, it was sad as well.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, and our next one comes from Don Harriet saying, buy the lottery, Brad. It's good luck.
But when I win the lottery, though, everyone will be like, what happened to Bradshaw Live? Well, he
What?
$1 million. I'll still be here. Don't worry. I just won't charge anybody anymore. Everything's free.
Woo! Okay, so everybody, convince Brad to buy the lottery.
Will be free. I'll still do this. It'll just all be free.
Convince Brad to buy the lottery, y'all.
Okay, this one's from Sasha Ford in reference to the Georgia elections. I am happy to be alive for this moment in history. This is just evidence that people are moving away from the norms. Love that.
Here. I agree with that.
Yes. And our last comment of the day, this one actually made me really smile. It is from, it's Apple Pie saying, OMG, OMG, OMG. Brad just called on me. I'm freaking out. This year is off to a great start.
Well, with a name like Apple Pie.
First time I saw it, it's Apple Pie. I never saw the name before.
Me either. And I love it's Apple Pie now.
I'm by the way, now I'm going to be calling her all the time.
Uh-oh.
All right, everybody. We will survive today. We did survive today.
Yes.
We will be there tomorrow. 13 days, Joe Biden's going to be the president of the United States, no matter what Donald Trump has to say about it. And hopefully 2021 will be brighter each month than it has been for the last 12, 24, 36 months.
Yes.
Certainly the last few months. Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.